You're listening to Travel Nursing and Allied Life, hosted by TravCon. Welcome to the Exhibitor Minute of the TravCon podcast. And with me today is an exhibitor that is focused on providing housing for travelers. She has an online marketplace for travel medical professionals to find and book housing on assignment. Thank you for joining us, Keisha, and you are from Nursesbnb, is that right?
Yes, that's correct, Michelle. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. We're less than a month out from the conference. So this is great timing because travelers will be able to hear about what you do and then be able to go and find you at the conference.
Awesome.
First of all, tell me what Nursesbnb does and how you started out with this whole endeavor.
Thank you so much, Michelle. So Nursesbnb is a marketplace. It's a web platform that traveling healthcare professionals can go and they can look up where they're going, see if there are any houses in that area that are close to their hospitals, and then they can go through the process of contacting the owner or just go straight to booking that apartment or house. And I got started. I am a registered nurse also, and
Very cool.
I have done travel nursing. I've done a few travel nursing outside my state, but most of my assignments have been within my state. So on one of these assignments, there was this young man by the name of John. He was a travel nurse. And he was just calling everywhere throughout the night, trying to get somewhere to stay because we were on the 7P to 7A shift. Then in the morning, he would have somewhere to stay after he would leave work like 7:30 a.m. And he was unsuccessful in getting somewhere to stay. He worked like 2 nights. And then the third night, I heard that he quit because he was sleeping in his car. And
oh, no.
It was heartbreaking for me.
Yeah. In
2 ways, because one, you don't want to know that an adult have to be sleeping in their car. That is so uncomfortable. And the other aspect is the fact that all that workload, that patient load, is pushed onto the few staff members that were left. And that was just so distressing to us. Mm-hmm. And it just weighed on my mind for a very long time. And I'm the type of person, I'm a go-getter. I love to fix things. So it was just like in my mind spinning, how can we get rid of this problem? Because obviously it's a real problem. And, they say that the problem that is experienced by one, chances are it's experienced by many. And I found out that there are a lot of traveling healthcare professionals that were having the same problem. And one day the idea just came to me.
Well, it's a huge pain point, and it's not just the patient load that gets affected. It's the company that outlaid all that money. It's what's lost in the contract. The traveler's out of pocket. Now they have to scramble. So by far and away, canceling an assignment is the worst possibility for anything. So we don't want housing to have to be the problem for that. So that's really great that you stepped up. So you actually created a website. And what's your home state now?
I'm in Virginia.
Virginia. So you created a website, you created a company that does housing. How many housing hosts do you have across the country?
Okay, so far we have over 3,000, and that's a small number considering how far we are going. Because
that's a great start.
Our goal is to be in North America, which includes USA and Canada. Mm-hmm. So our platform was to prove the concept, and the response has been like outstanding. It has been amazing. So now that we have proven the concept, we are about to scale that platform to accommodate thousands of houses. Cool. And this new web app is supposed to be finished before December.
Okay, so you've got an app on the way so travelers don't have, because so many of them work off of their phones. So you'll have an app by December that they can do everything off their phone. Very cool.
Yes.
When we were talking earlier, I was super
Mhm.
excited to hear where you tend to specialize your hosts right now. Tell us a little bit about that.
Of course. So because we are here to solve a real problem, we're not going after those big cities that always have housing. Yes, of course, we want those people, but we're going a bit further. We want those remote areas that these small hospitals, they are really suffering because of short staff. And I know this because I live in a remote, a remote area.
Right.
So I have seen the devastation and I know it's a real problem. So we are going to go, our sales team are going to go into these small communities and we are going to have housing in these areas to alleviate this burden of housing for our traveling healthcare professional, whether that be a doctor, a nurse, a therapist, a CNA, it does not matter. We cater for them.
That is fantastic because I don't know how many of the other housing companies are truly focusing on those smaller, out of the way areas. So it's great that someone's looking into that, that they can serve, like you say, the outlying hospitals that struggle to get staff in because there is no housing.
Absolutely. And the thing is, in healthcare, if you're not in it, you are not really familiar with the problems. So it would take somebody from inside to really solve the problem that we face. And I am happy that I am able to do that with Nursesbnb.
Nice. Now tell me, what is the general terms when somebody hosts with you? Do you have a minimum set time that travelers can book? What's the time frame that you typically cater to?
Sure. For now, on the current platform, they can book days up to like 6 months, a year. But on the new web app that we're coming out with, it's going to be a minimum of 2 weeks because we have realized that our market is not like a vacation market. So vacation market go for like 3 to 10 days vacation. We are not that. That's not what we're focused on. We want to have 2 weeks, which is more economical in terms of fees, up to a year or more.
Oh, wow.
And what this allows is that if a nurse that is just coming off maternity leave, because you know a lot of us are females, and they want to book somewhere, they don't want a 10-week or 13-week contract. They are going to get a 2-week or a 4-week contract to just run out, make some money, come back home to their baby. We want to be there for them to be able to accommodate them if they're just doing a 2-week contract. And that's why we did that.
That's great because I do believe that short contracts are becoming more frequent. It gives the employer a lot more flexibility. Some people like it, some people don't, but it's nice having that ability to just get a 2 or 4 week accommodation somewhere.
Absolutely.
What are your fees like? If many of the travelers also may want to be a host and be able to rent out their own home, what would be the fees that you would charge toward the host who is renting out their home?
The fees are, we try to keep everything economical, but of course we have to collect fees. We are running a business, So it's between 5 to 8%. And that is very economical when we compare it to our competitors across the board. Their fees are in the teens, and we are trying to keep ours at a minimum, whilst at the same time, our platform will be having features that are unique to our platform that will not be found anywhere else. And right now, a lot of those features and processes are patent pending. So we know that we will be the only one doing those things. And all of these new things that we're coming with is based on customer feedback and our research and development in the market.
Very nice. Very nice. Now, there's a lot of risk when a traveler tries to book through Craigslist or something that's not verifying their buyers in any way or their renters. Do you offer any sort of verification service with your hosts so the traveler knows that they have some sort of guarantee of the legitimacy of their host?
Absolutely. And we are taking it a bit further. We are verifying both host and renters.
Oh, good.
So we want both parties to feel safe on our platform. We are creating this bespoke community, and we want everyone in that community to feel safe. So we do have process in place now to vet the host, but our new platform is going to have processes to vet both parties.
Excellent. That's important. It's important to be able to know that you can have some sort of, that there's been some background check done on both sides. So that's good.
Absolutely.
And how does the traveler or the renter, how do they pay the host? What system do you use there?
So we are going to be the middleman, because we want to ensure that if Tom is booking somewhere to arrive on the 5th, we are going to hold that money in escrow until Tom gets to that location and tells us that he's at that location. Then within 24 to 48 hours, depending on the day of the week, the host will be paid.
Nice. So that way, if there's been any sudden surprise upon arrival, they still have that held aside. That's a good method. Excellent. Will the travelers, you're going to be at TravCon this year and you've got a booth.
Absolutely. I'm excited.
We're excited too. Will you have some sort of way for them to test out your app and see what they can play around with it and see what it looks like?
Absolutely. We are going to have hopefully 2 stations set up so that they can interact with the web app and see the steps, how it would operate if they're a host or if they're trying to find a property, so that they can familiarize themselves with it. It will not be the full thing, but it will have most of the screens that the user would need to use in order to make a booking or to list their property.
That's perfect. That's great. I'm sure you'll get a lot of interested people because housing is one of the top priorities for travelers, and to be able to have a few sources to go to. Not everybody will have, the big players may not have places in the small locations like you're focusing on. So it's going to be really helpful to know that. You're also up on our exhibitors page of the website. So if anybody wants to check you out right now, they can find you there. You'll also have your link in the notes below for our podcast notes and our video cast. And is there anything else you'd like to share with us, Keisha?
Yes, I can just assure the community that as a traveling healthcare professional, I do understand. As a nurse, I do understand the pain and the agony in staffing, right? Because been there, done that. And when someone calls out, I understand the anxiety that goes through are we going to get somebody else to work? And we know what goes on. So with that knowledge and experience, this is why I've started Nursesbnb, and we are here to stay. And we are going to go the extra mile to ensure that, there are certain kinks in healthcare that nobody has thought about. We are going to think about it, and we are going to come up with a solution.
That's excellent. Great. Well, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to join us.
You're welcome.
I'm sure the travelers are going to love talking with you and interacting and finding out more about your housing opportunity, and for being both a host and a traveler that will be able to rent from you. So that is great. Thank you so much. We look forward to talking with you next week. There's also lots of information on the website for check out our exhibitors page with all our exhibitors that are listed and all the information you need to plan your event. We'll see you next week. Thanks for listening to Travel Nursing and Allied Life. You can find the full show notes below or at travcon.org. Please help us out by rating our podcast on iTunes or wherever you get your podcasts.